Hi, I'm Tempe Mayor Mark Mitchell, and I'm so proud to be the mayor of the city that I grew up in. When I was a kid, I hung out a lot at Lake's movie theater on Rural and Baseline. Then when I was in my teenager years, when I got a little bit older, we spent a lot of time at the Cornerstone, which is on University and Rural, and it was great because they had the Man Theater there. They had the Bear Cover back then. That was a big clothing surf shop for us. It was a great time hanging out in Tempe, and then obviously all the parks because we played a lot of sports. I went to Meyer Elementary School, McCamey Junior High, and I went right here to McClintock High School. I played baseball and football. At that time, when I was in high school, McClintock was one of the premier high schools in the state. We were always in the top 10 for football, top 5 at USA Today for football, but we had a great baseball team. We went to the state championship my senior year. One thing I'd like to see happen in the next 30 years is just continue to build on the assets that we have in our community that defines Tempe. We're a very welcoming, inclusive, and open community, and very family-friendly and business-friendly that really care about our residents. It's my favorite thing in Tempe serving as mayor is because I'm giving back to the community that gave me so much growing up in this great city. And I'm able to affect not only my kids, but future generations of what that Tempe quality of life means to individuals and to our residents. And I wanted my 2 daughters to experience what I did growing up, but that much better in Tempe. And I think we're accomplishing that, and hopefully for future generations. As you just saw in the video, it's clear that I could only be described that I have a healthy and hearty love for this great city. I often start this speech by putting some value on the past, because to see where you're going, you have to know where you've been. I know that progress is hard, but success often depends on willingness to change. And that's one of the reasons Tempe is great. It's a mix of both old and new. And because in Tempe, we know in order to grow, that you've got to continually reevaluate, redesign, and reinvent. And that's why our state of the city is so strong. I believe that most successful cities are the ones that are willing to adapt to the ever-changing needs and the future needs and desires of residents and businesses. Having an adaptable city requires leaders to be open-minded, honest, and collaborative, and willing to push boundaries. Thankfully, I have colleagues that help us do just that. This morning, we have with us Vice Mayor Lauren Kuby, and we have council members Jennifer Adams, Robin Arredondo-Savage, Colby Granville, Randy Keating, and Joel Navarro. Let's give them another round of applause for their partnership and leadership. I am very honored to serve with these individuals, and I am very proud of the ability to embrace new ideas. Having an open mind is so important. Because we live in a community that cultivates and includes everyone's ideas, every day new issues and challenges are brought to our attention. Being able to incorporate problem solving with innovation is really key to our success. Today, we're going to talk about ideas, big ideas, that are changing the landscape and fabric of Tempe. Sometimes, to be a city where you want people to be, you really have to get out of your comfort zone. You can't progress and transform if you stay stagnant. Luckily, the city of Tempe is full of great employees who understand this and who look at issues and challenges in a new light. One of the most exciting examples of this shared vision is our IDEA campus here in Tempe. We're transforming the parking lot west of the Tempe Center for the Arts into a beautiful new biotech campus. Before Tempe Town Lake was built out, this site was a landfill, which meant it needed a lot of environmental remediation, and thus it was incredibly hard to develop. But that didn't stop us from actively pursuing a partner. And after a lot of work, IDEA Tempe was born. IDEA stands for innovation, discovery, education, and arts. All the things that embody Tempe in just 1 million square feet. Not only is this location bringing about a synergy between the arts and science, but is also activating the west end of Beach Park. The Future Idea Campus is a space dedicated for bioscience, technology, and the art. A place where the brightest people in science will be in the same place, collaborating and exchanging ideas. We also want the users of this space to be inspired by the arts and have a multitude of educational opportunities. I'd like to acknowledge Matt Jensen and the Boyer Company who are working with us on this project. I mentioned that this was a landfill. Matt's people literally had to dig 30 feet down into the earth to remove 5,000 truckloads of waste. And they ended up finding copies of an old Tempe daily newspaper that dated back to really the year of my birth, 1969. Now, man, I know you see this picture up there, and hopefully I look a whole lot better than that old thing that you guys see on the screen here. But thank you for your commitment and for being great partners. Let's hear a little bit more about this project from those involved. 1, 2, 3. Woo-hoo! One more.
You are in the right city, in the right state, and you are the right company. I'm incredibly impressed by what I've learned and read about your organization.
And it's really about the momentum that the mayor's been able to create in the city of Tempe is very similar to the momentum that we're very proud to have created at BDPI. If you look at what's happening from a new jobs perspective, from a new businesses perspective, from an excitement perspective, just looking at the Tempe skyline at night, how it's changed over the last 5 years, we want to be part of that. We want to be part of that growth. And Idea Campus really kind of hit what we wanted to do, and that was all about innovation, development, education, certainly for us, and that's what we're about. That's what BARD was, and now BD is part of.
The vision for the Idea Campus really came to light as working closely with the city. They had a desire to do a technology-focused office park where high-tech companies could come that either do research or they're engaged in programming or aeronautical or space or whatever that might be. The Idea Tempe campus consists of about 18 total acres. It's been planned to include 5 to 6 large buildings, large office research buildings, totaling around 1 million square feet of space. One of those buildings would likely be a full-service hotel with restaurant and amenity space, and then it also has around 40,000 square feet of art-related space that would supplement what's offered here at the Tempe Center for the Arts.
They're trying to build a community here, and I think our employees will really gravitate towards that. I think our employees will love the opportunity to come in and become one with the arts. We can spend time here at the Tempe Arts Center and kind of mesh in with the community around us. We have just under 1,000 employees here in Tempe, so I believe in the next 5 years, 1,500, 2,000 employees. Who knows? The sky's the limit.
Speaking of incredible people, David Cano and Steve Williamson just explained why they wanted Becton Dickinson Company, or BD, to be the idea's first tenant. This state-of-the-art technology company develops and manufactures medical devices that help patients suffering from diseases. They are one of the largest global medical manufacturing companies, tech companies in the world, with over 65,000 employees, and we are so honored that you are expanding in Tempe. BD sets the example for this type of business. The businesses that Tempe is attracting. Businesses like BD that invest in Tempe leverage our reputation as an innovative hub. It doesn't hurt that a hometown university, the small but mighty Arizona State, has been named the most innovative university in the nation for the 4th year in a row. Like I said earlier, though, I am someone who truly values and appreciates what has been done in the past. However, I am also not encumbered by this is the way that it's always been done thinking in Tempe. We innovate, and that's the I in idea. Our culture of innovation allows for individuals and businesses in every sector to push the limits of what is possible. And today, I am excited to announce the arrival of a new business doing just that. Has anyone in the audience, I'm sure a lot of you, have ever forgotten to refill a prescription, and by the time you remembered, the pharmacy was closed? Well, that will be a problem of the past, because Medivale Technologies is going to take care of that for you. This healthcare tech company developed an innovative self-serve pharmacy kiosk called Spot RX that is fast, that is interactive, and can dispense medicine on the spot. Medivale is a business that is thinking outside the box, and they have wanted a home base that cultivates that kind of philosophy. And we are thrilled that Medivale Technologies is coming to our downtown. I'm always thrilled to announce when new companies choose Tempe, and luckily, I've done that many times as mayor. Since 2012, we have announced the addition of over 31,000 jobs. Our 1.2 million square feet of Class A office space is in the urban core of Tempe is consistently in demand and with occupancy rates over 90%. So much so that another 600,000 square feet is under construction. These are great jobs moving into our community. On Monday, Oscar Health, the country's fastest growing health insurance startup, is announcing that they are expanding their presence in Tempe and adding 400 new jobs to the circuit, located in the Smith Industrial Hub. That's on top of the 4,000 jobs that Chase is bringing to Discovery Business Campus in South Tempe, the 1,000 jobs that Bank of the West brought to the Broadway Curve, the 250 jobs that Benchmark Electronics is locating at Rio 2100, and the 500 jobs that Viking Cruises just recently announced at Hayden Ferry Lakeside. That is also the intersection of Mill Avenue and Rio Salado Parkway that has been named the hottest intersection in Arizona for business and development by the Urban Land Institute. One factor playing into this distinction in the new Tempe Street is the new Tempe streetcar. When I say streetcar, I am talking about Arizona's first modern streetcar, made up of 6 hybrid battery-powered vehicles. While the streetcar is mostly powered by overhead power lines, the battery-powered vehicles will allow us to go off-wire in our downtown to help protect its historic character. This onboard battery is just another way that the city of Tempe is innovating. The batteries will recharge when the streetcar is connected to the overhead wire. We're currently under construction on this 3-mile route, and once it's done, there's great potential to continue the line east to Mesa. This would further connect the Novus Innovation Corridor, which is moving forward, and Novus just announced the construction of their first Class A 6-story office building. It's phase 1 of a larger 350-acre mixed-use development. The Tempe streetcar is becoming a reality because of a public-private partnership with surrounding land and business owners. It's one of the very few transit projects in the country to be partially funded in this way. These business partners recognize a need for a streetcar, and they helped fill a $13 million gap to complete this project. They are contributing to the combination of local, regional, and federal funds needed to build the Tempe streetcar. We owe these businesses our sincere gratitude for signing on to such an innovative transit funding partnership. The Tempe streetcar is an opportunity to move people in and about the downtown. Studies predict that younger and older generations will move to denser downtown cities where they can use public transportation to get from point A to point B, and we're doing right to plan for the future. You can see this right in our downtown with developments like the Union, which caters to young professionals, and ASU's Marabella, which is offering an active lifestyle to retirees. These 2 developments alone are bringing hundreds of new faces to diversify our downtown. The upcoming Tempe Omni Hotel Conference Center is also going to diversify our urban core. Tempe and ASU have been working together for years to bring a large-scale hotel conference center to the downtown. The Omni will convert the vacant parking lot at Mill University into an economic and tourism asset for the whole entire city. This piece of land has been generating virtually no dollars for the city of Tempe, and without a collaborative project with Arizona State, it never would happen. From day one, Omni will be generating arts and transportation tax, creating jobs in Tempe, and will have an annual economic impact of $32 million. $32 million. Our innovative relationship with ASU and everything we both have to offer is the reason Omni chose to locate here, and I could not be happier. If innovation means thinking outside the box or adapting to new ways of doing things, Tempe is right on target. In May of this year, my council colleagues and I awarded $500,000 in innovation funds to 9 innovative community improving projects. While I can't take the time to highlight all of them all, I wanted to share one of the inventive ideas that was funded. Who all in here has been to Pedal House? Come on, I know a lot of people have been to Pedal House when I've been there. All right. So you know when you go there and you have their delicious crispy fries, and the only thing you're worried about other than your waistline is how garlicky your breath is going to be. Well, for restaurant owners, tastiness isn't the only thing that they have to worry about. Once all those fries are made, they have to do something with that used oil. That's why a few years ago, Tempe created a grease cooperative with restaurant owners. The city provided grease maintenance, and in exchange, member restaurants save up to 15%. The program itself is already innovative, but when evaluating its success, we noticed that our local businesses were still experiencing some barriers. It can cost a business between $2,000 and $10,000 to replace out the worn-out grease traps. This can be extremely prohibitive to small businesses, and an unexpected cost of this magnitude can really shock a business's bottom line. To help, we created the Grease Trap Assistance Program that will help businesses by allowing them to have access to a revolving fund to help them upgrade these grease traps. For every restaurant brought into compliance, it will reduce the city's regional wastewater treatment costs by almost $1,500 annually. If this program proves successful, it can serve as a model for a cost-sharing, profit-saving approach. That's some innovation taking place in Tempe. There's 3 more letters I've got to get to, so let's move to the second component of idea, discovery. To me, discovery is very different than innovation because it inspires scratching beneath the surface to uncover the unknown. And we couldn't be doing this work without our partner, Arizona State University. As you know, the university embraces innovation, but the amount of discovery that happens in the interdisciplinary science and technology buildings and the Biodesign Institute is what really sets them apart. And now ASU is under construction on its newest building, the ISTB 7, on the corner of Rural and University. It will encompass a nearby light rail station, making the building itself a new gateway to the campus. The ISTB 7 is over 250,000 square feet and will help establish the university as a leading global center for interdisciplinary research, discovery, and development, enhancing ASU's research's competitiveness to more than $815 million in annual research expenditures. And why is ASU investing in innovation and discovery? Because President Crow knows that with discovery comes hope. Together, Tempe, ASU are building the future because we know we can have an impact on individuals with disease and the well-being of this planet. Just look at the ASU Biodesign Institute. This year, Biodesign Institute celebrated the grand opening of Building C, the third of 4 master plan buildings. The new research facility houses the world's first compact free electron X-ray laser. You may have seen the replica of the laser outside in the breezeway. Normally, a particle accelerator is over 2 miles long. The compact X-ray laser at Biodesign C is only 10 meters, and it fits on a tabletop. Let's learn a little bit more.
It's the job of a university to create knowledge. That's what we're here for. So the Biodesign Institute is an institute within the university. The term we use is we illuminate threats. These are things that challenge us every day. And the institute is here to understand those problems well enough to solve them.
What biodesign does is it brings biologists and physicists and engineers all together in one place to solve biomedical problems, these kinds of things that we're talking about.
The biodesign in general and ASU in general is probably the most collaborative of anything, anywhere I've ever been. This is what they like to call a laboratory without walls, where there is no space separating us.
For a project like this, building a new particle accelerator, we have the accelerator, we have very powerful lasers, we have lots of magnets in here. We will be doing a new kind of medical imaging that lets us see soft tissues. For instance, plaques on artery walls or very small tumors we'll be able to see for the first time. We can see things that can't be seen with the current x-rays. This can lead to the development of new drugs. And what we can do with this X-ray beam is study how those drugs bind to the targets, develop new drugs. And so, yes, we fully expect that pharmaceuticals will be able to develop new drugs with this.
Between the research it does and the funding it brings in, it's well over $1 billion now that we brought since we've started, which is only about 12, 13 years ago now.
Biodesign as a whole, I think, is probably the most unique facility in the world. And I think those are going to be really important at addressing overarching mechanisms of disease, which is what we have to do. We have to look at it from multiple angles, and the only way to do that is to have a facility like this.
It's an innovative area. Tempe's an innovative city. It thinks that way. It thinks about what's next, not what was in the past. That's the way it looks at things. That's exactly how biodesign looks at things. And so we want the scientists who are here to spin out and do things within the local community. And so you need a community and an environment that thinks creatively, that thinks innovatively, for them to move into.
The spirit of discovery is what leads ASU. These initiatives from the Biodesign Institute are going to make a real difference in people's lives. All of this work, this passion is inspired first and foremost in the heart. Thank you to President Michael Crow for being a leader who brings about a positive impact on society. On the 5th floor of the Biodesign C is the ASU Banner Neurodegenerative Disease Research Center, or the NDRC. The NDRC was designed to pursue the cause of and treatments of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia, and will eventually house one of the largest teams of Alzheimer's researchers in the nation, because Arizona's population of individuals over the age of 65 is expected to reach 2.4 million by 2050. The consequence of these diseases on the elderly in our community will be immense. Right now, they're working on early onset detection. The greatest difficulty in providing early and effective treatment for Alzheimer's is the huge lag between the inception of the disease and the appearance of the symptoms. Researchers at the NDRC recently published a study showing that their discovery of a blood test that may be able to detect Alzheimer's before symptoms surface. That's just one of the amazing discoveries made by the NRDC. The work being done on the 5th floor of the Biodesign C is special to me personally, and I'm sure it has meaning to many of you in this room. My mom has Alzheimer's, and since 2014, I've been working with dedicated individuals to make Tempe's the state's first dementia-friendly city. We've learned a lot of lessons along the way, including how this hidden toll on caregivers that isn't widely discussed, but it's one that I've seen firsthand. I wanted dementia-friendly Tempe to provide awareness and support, not only for those living with dementia, but for those loved ones who surround them and care for them. Let's hear a little more about this initiative from the individuals involved.
The topic of dementia is sort of what we used to deal with cancer or AIDS. It was a real hidden subject, and before we started speaking up about it, people just weren't getting the help they need.
So in this umbrella term of dementia, we're saying that a person is having trouble with memory, with thinking, with language, maybe behavior and judgment is even changing, and it's changing in a way that everyday life is affected.
My mother was diagnosed back in 2008 of having dementia. Which really prompted me to try to do something in our community, because That's what we do in Tempe. We always look at quality of life initiatives to better the quality of life of our residents and businesses in our community. And this really connects with individuals. The more people I talk to, they know someone or have a friend or family member that has been diagnosed.
Alzheimer's disease is the fastest growing disease in the world. Every 1 out of 10 people over the age of 65 have dementia and just don't know it yet. The communities are now suffering from dementia at a greater rate than they were, say, 20, 30 years ago. So in collaboration with Tempe and ASU, we're starting to develop a strategic plan, both scientifically and also to help the community.
The first thing we did was to start our Memory Cafe in September of 2016 and let the people in the community know that we are here to help them with services, resources, and a connection to other people who are going through the same situation.
Hopefully it will impact the future, and not just learning more about the disease, but about caregivers, people that have to take care of their loved ones, and they don't know what to do and where to go and how to seek help. So we're trying to do multiple things, not just the research.
It's good to have a basic understanding of what dementia is and how it may manifest itself in people. And now in Tempe, there's so many ways to access very easily a basic understanding. And you can't have enough of the right support. So go out and grab it. And the neat thing about dementia-friendly Tempe is it's available.
I have seen resilience in people living with this illness and families like no other. I've seen adaptability and possibilities in the face of something where people say nothing can be done.
It touches everybody. There's no borders when it comes to dementia. And if we could be the catalyst for other cities throughout the region, throughout Maricopa County and the state to look at a program like this, that's really something that is exciting to me personally because we're really making a difference. I would like to thank Jane Gerlica and Jan Dougherty and all the volunteers who have made the Memory Cafe and Dementia-Friendly Tempe a success. The Memory Cafe is not fancy or techy. It's just a much-needed program, one where supportive individuals hold space for others to share in a safe place. It's a discovery that has helped many people find a little more happiness in their life. It will not cure dementia and memory loss, illness, but it shows that we're taking a positive approach to improving the quality of life of those affected. Dementia-Friendly Tempe also educates. We've trained almost 2,500 dementia friends from across the state, including businesses, neighbors, and most recently, our City of Tempe first responders. Next steps will include producing an engaging video to train all the City of Tempe employees and hopefully residents too. And speaking of education, I talked to business leaders looking to relocate or expand here in Tempe, and they always ask me this question: how is education in your city? That's the E in idea. And I always respond, well, I'm a product of Tempe Public Schools, so that should be all the reassurance that you need. All my education has been in Tempe, as was stated in the video, from Meyer to McCamey to McClintock to Arizona State. More than 42% of Tempe residents have a bachelor's degree or more. That's 14% higher than the average in Arizona. On top of that, we have a diverse talent pool from ASU to Maricopa Community Colleges, from the University of Advancing Technology, and the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine, and more. And I am so proud of these offerings and the level of education that we have in this community. And let me tell you, education is a convincing asset to businesses interested in Tempe. One of those companies that I had the privilege of welcoming is Freedom Financial, who had their grand opening this year. This is a relatively young company that helps individuals achieve financial freedom, hence the name. They have expanded in Tempe along the interchange of the 101 and 202 freeways, building 3 new beautiful buildings and adding around 4,000 new jobs to Tempe. And there's Carvana, a business that is disrupting the way you shop and buy a car. They are headquartered in Tempe, And if you've driven on the 202 freeway lately, you may have noticed their towering car vending machine. All you need to get a new car is a giant token. Now, if you all take a moment and look under your seat and see if there's a giant token, let me know. Come on. Okay, really? 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 I mean, did you guys really think we're having an Oprah moment? I mean, come on. What do you think our budget is for this breakfast, Ann? Where is it? I mean, come on. You should have seen everybody's faces, by the way. All right. Carvana has about 900 employees in Tempe, and they are looking to add a couple hundred more over the next year. And these businesses have a variety of high-skilled job opportunities, from software engineers to financial analysts and data scientists. Our educated population is filled with great candidates for these positions. The jobs of the future, many of which do not exist today and are nearly impossible to predict, will require individuals who can think critically and possess a higher level of communication and computation skills. As a driver of workforce development, our education system must have the flexibility to continue to innovate and expand access to service and develop alternative modes of learning. In 2016, Governor Ducey endorsed Achieve 60 AZ, which is a goal of 60% of Arizonans to achieve a college degree or certificate by 2030. Here in Tempe, we take that commitment of advancing education one step further. We set a goal of 65% of Tempeans achieving a college degree or a certificate by 2030. And College Connect, created by Councilmember Robinair Dono Savage, is helping us connect students to scholarships and experts that can help them apply for college, which is helping greatly with this initiative. There are several other ways the city is working to reach this goal. So if you're passionate about education, keep an ear open for how you can get involved. The Tempe Chamber of Commerce is helping the city with education too. But before I get to that, I just want to call out our incredible job that the Chamber has done to put this great breakfast on this morning. I would like to thank Ann Gill and Suki Janaki and the whole Chamber team for always working hard to make this such a successful event. Thank you to the Chamber and Ann and Suki and all the members. The Chamber is working with the city to connect businesses and education community through a new program called Career Ready Tempe. They've been working with the City Human Services and our economic development staff to prepare today's youth for tomorrow's workplace. Staff and the Chamber will work with the Tempe employers to offer youth in our community internships in the fields that are in high demand. The program will serve income-eligible high school juniors and seniors and will help lay the foundation of these kids to be excited about opportunities out there that are available to them. Another exciting initiative where Tempe is leading the state and the nation is our Tempe Pre program. Tempe Pre is a 2-year pilot program to provide high-quality preschool at no cost for qualifying families. I'd like to thank our city staff and our local school districts for all the work they've done on Tempe Pre. Tempe was the first jurisdiction in Arizona to fund a high-quality preschool, a pilot for low-income children. Tempe Pre has garnered positive statewide and national interest. This program has been highly effective. Data has shown a measurable increase in all the baseline measures of developmental categories, such as mathematics, literacy, and social-emotional skills, and that's after only 1 year. Vice Mayor Kuby and Council Members Keating and Navarro are currently working to see how we can continue to partner with businesses to expand Tempe Pre into the future. Another great program having a huge impact on Tempe's education goals is AARP Experience Corps. Experience Corps is a tutoring program that focuses on early literacy skills, and Tempe just happens to be a national leader. Adults 50 years and older help children become proficient readers by the time they finish 3rd grade. Through this generational exchange, children succeed and adults 50 and over thrive, and communities are made even stronger. In fact, 3 of 4 students involved in the program reach appropriate benchmarks on their national testing, Research shows that third grade reading scores are one of the best predictors of the future academic success, making experience scores an important component to the city's overall education roadmap. I want to emphasize the power and the importance of working with the business community and dedicated volunteers to achieve our goals. Achieve 65 is a priority that we need your help on. So by improving K through 12 pipeline and aligning current and future workforce needs, Tempe can prepare all students for success in the modern economy, which is necessary for Tempe to maintain the productive and innovation that creates the quality of life that our residents desire and expect. Collaboration is key. We have our economic development team with a booth out front, so if something spoke to you today or you have a new idea, please stop by the booth outside in the foyer to share your ideas. And finally, the A in idea is the arts. Tempe has long invested in cultural amenities, making our community more attractive and more engaging to residents and businesses. That is why Tempe is a community of choice. Individuals and families choose to live in Tempe and our community that values insights and it values creativity. Companies like State Farm, Northern Trust, GoDaddy, Bank of the West, and Union Bank chose Tempe because of the quality of life. There are a lot of considerations that go on into a company deciding to locate. It's not just access to a great talent pool. Companies look at how a community has invested in itself. Things like quality of life, public safety, and public transportation. And recently, I've been hearing more and more about the role of arts and culture that has on their decision in where they want to locate. Arts and culture play a key role in creating a sense of place and establishing a creative and vibrant community, one that people really want to be engaged in. As an employer, you can offer your employees more than just good benefits and salary. By choosing to locate in a city with a rich cultural life, you can offer employees a community with diversity and a sense of belonging. In Tempe, demand for art experiences is high. We understand the value of arts that they can have on economics, education, and ability to foster an understanding of inclusiveness. So we are making it a priority. One of the most exciting parts about the IDEA campus is that it is slated to include a 40,000 square foot art annex for the Tempe Center for the Arts, which will include rehearsal, storage space, and a black box theater. With IDEA right next door to the Tempe Center for the Arts, the Tempe Center Arts will continue to grow and expand. Employees working at the IDEA can enjoy an Edge happy hour with live music, food, and drink, and see a show after work, stroll through the art gallery, and be able to see all the exhibitions that we have to offer. These possibilities are inspiring us to bring new energy and vigor to what we're doing at the Tempe Center for the Arts. In 2015, the council adopted the Tempe Arts and Culture Plan, a robust roadmap for the cultural future of Tempe. Part of the plan involves bringing art to all corners of our great city, including a new Arts in the Park initiative. Year one of Arts in the Park showed it clearly was a success. The type of art at each event is up to the nearby residents, and it should reflect their identity and values. Mitchell Park held its first Fox and Peacock Festival, and Estate La Colina hosted a music in the arts in the park. This year, we will be expanding this program from 2 to 5 parks, so if you're a Tempe resident, Arts in the Park is likely coming to a park near you. Another important aspect of the arts plan is the preservation of historic landmarks. This year, the historic Hayden House, the former home of the Tempe founder Charles Trumbull Hayden, is being rehabilitated to its 1924 era. This will be the first time that the city of Tempe will have any ownership of our most historic building. We plan to showcase it as a premier example of Adobe craftsmanship. The home will be a gateway into the downtown Tempe and an opportunity to learn more about Tempe's history. And when you talk about Tempe's history, we're celebrating a big anniversary this year. The Tempe Festival of the Arts is turning 50 Our arts festival attracts hundreds of artists from around the country and hundreds and thousands of visitors who come downtown over the 3-day event to enjoy art, food, beer and wine, and live music and great family fun. I can't believe, look at that picture. I think it's from the first art festival days. Boy, I think Mill Avenue was a little bit different back then, and if you haven't been to an arts festival, make sure you get out there. I don't know if you could tell, I think it was late 60s actually. This event has grown over the past 50 years, obviously. And I think Mill Avenue's changed a little bit too, if you can't see that. Let's learn a little bit more from some folks who were at the beginning of the Mill Avenue Arts Festival. Please take a look.
Well, in the beginning, Mill Avenue was a little bit different than it is today. And on any given weekend, there was probably 100 motorcycles lined up and down Mill. And it was a pretty kind of seedy neighborhood. And we wanted to try to develop the area into kind of a little arts and crafts mecca so the people would, come visit. Kind of took the sidewalk sale idea and actually began to call it a festival. Put up a little stage, had some music, and started inviting other artists from around Arizona, and then eventually other artists from all across the country to participate.
And now it's a little different. We have about 360 artists every festival. It's juried, and we get artists from all over the world. And it's great to celebrate the local art as well as demonstrating to people that are here how wonderful art is nationally, so that you can kind of get a taste for what's happening in the current art world everywhere. But at the same time, we have 2 stages with live music, we have wine and beer gardens and things for kids to do, roaming entertainment, so it's a fun, enjoyable family event with a lot of artwork.
I believe the Tempe Festival really puts art on the map for the whole state of Arizona. It sets the bar for all of us as artists, and it's really one of the most premier festivals that everyone really wants to participate in. We've had nothing but a great time at this festival.
My favorite thing about the Tempe Festival is that you see every kind of art from all across the country, and you get to be included in that wonderful atmosphere. People can grow here, artists can come year after year, and it just gets better and better.
We have about 250,000 people that come. So the impact on the local community is huge. We have local businesses that tell us that their entire year is sustainable because of the bump that they see from the weekends of the art festival.
There are artists that come from all over the country that go to top-rated shows all over the United States. And I'm proud of being part of that.
I think the festival has become such a signature event for our city because the city is so respectful to those artists and the event itself. And I think that what we've seen is it has grown because people love it.
I love Tempe. Tempe's one of my favorite shows. They're organized, they're kind, they're always looking for our input, asking what they can do to improve, or how did this work, and what would you think about this? So they always give us a voice, and I feel like someone listens.
So we love the artists, we nurture them, so then they love us back, and it's just kind of this whole situation that works. And I think as long as we keep doing that and don't try to force it to be something it's not, then it will continue to organically be what the community needs.
It makes me so proud that we have this history and culture of art that we can continue to build on. And speaking of, how many of you have checked out the 6th Street Market on Sundays right next to City Hall? Make sure you go see that. It's a great opportunity. It's a great little market there on Sundays. There's one more area that I want to touch on before I wrap up this morning, and that is sure to be a crowd favorite: food. We've had an explosion of new restaurants in South Tempe, from Trace to Tempe Public Market to Ghost Ranch to Madagascar and Cotton and Copper. And if you've been to any of these new restaurants in Tempe, you'll know that food really can be an art form. Sometimes you'll even run into your local elected official. So if you run into Jennifer Adams, our newest elected council member, and I having a drink at Tempe Public Market, please make sure you say hi to us. We won't bite. And if you haven't been yet, the food and cocktails are worth the visit. Kettle Heroes is a local Tempe business that makes delicious popcorn, but they also embrace Tempe's giving spirit, and they make charitable donations to benefit those in need. As we think about the greater meaning behind the 4 drivers of IDEA, campus, and how they propel Tempe's culture, it is clear to me that it is how you move a community forward. Innovation, discovery, education, and arts. These drivers enable us to provide the resources to sustain and elevate the quality of life for our residents, which is my #1 priority. I can't possibly speak to everything that is happening in Tempe in one breakfast speech, unless, of course, you want to stay for lunch. So here's what I want you to take away from this morning: an understanding of how Tempe's commitment to innovate, to discover the unknown, to invest in education, and enjoy the arts has made us a better place. Tempe is so fortunate. We stand apart in all the best ways, and you are all part of that success. Being mayor of this community, where I was born and raised, where am raising my daughters, where, geez, if you really get down to it, where I'll probably die, is truly an amazing honor to be the mayor.